Hilt without a blade. Do anything with this. Barbs and blades cover the surface of this hulking metal construct. Its scalloped skin looks like a suit of intricate armor, the joints able to bend in directions impossible for a human. Though the constructs is immobile, something in its design sparks a frisson of involuntary dread within you, as if it were a predator regarding you. The design of the construct is remarkably reminiscent of the Waits for Prey construct you saw in the Memovira's courtyard. Lore. The construct doesn't seem to mind your prodding and poking. Indeed, it doesn't react at all. By the time you're finished, you are reasonably certain that while it maintains basic locomotive and processing functions, its mind has been utterly erased. It truly is an automaton now, lacking any sort of free will. Some of its weapon systems have also been deactivated, though its killing blades are as deadly as ever. It doesn't say anything. Just a machine.
Yes.
With an energy source for the blade. We'll also try to, I suppose, deactivate the other arm. Although I don't see any reason to hasten that little thing. So, stay on target. The power source for the blade.
Alright,
And if we
Rin,
can't do that,
this.
we can at least try to open the portals through other means.
To action!
Wait. No. I want to talk to the woman who was a passenger on this ship. It might be nothing, but might be something.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
On my way.
At least we can report to her that what happened with the two dogs that were harassing her.
I am the very soul of action.
Yeah. You returned. I don't suppose you've learned anything new about Delny and Run? Yeah. Well, Delny won't be bothering you anymore, and Brong is gone. For good, I hope.
Making a note.
Well, she says, the doubt in her voice clear. Certainly hope you're right. Regardless, you have done more than I ever could, and you have my gratitude. She produces a pouch from her pocket. A heat cup. Please accept this in thanks. If Brong is truly gone, I can afford a little excess. Also, you may feel free to sleep here anytime, no charge. This cup appears to have been roughly carved in one piece from a graphite material. It leaves a black residue on your fingers in any time you touch it. Certain, but not all liquids poured into this cup will be heated to a boiling point immediately. There's no apparent pattern in what liquids it will or will not heat up, but it seems to activate specifically for synthetic liquids. There is no discernible power source on the device enabling it to heat the liquids. It could be the graphite material itself is the source of that energy. Because it's so difficult to activate, it does not seem to be possible to tap directly into the cup's power source.
Sure.
Right. Not a little bit of experience, but that's it. What about you? I saw another construct that looks like you in the house of Yoksu, not far from here. The last of my sibling comrades, yes. I am aware of its presence in the Tinkerer's house. Multicolored lights flash from the construct's head in quick, agitated succession. We came to this place together, two brothers in arms seeking respite from the unrelenting memories that tormented us both. But he chose a different path from mine. A different path? The Tinkerer put his hands in my sibling's comrade's brain, pulled the memories out, and with them the mind and the thoughts and the means of the thing. Now my brother in arms is a gutted shell, a scarecrow, standing in the Tinkerer's house to frighten off the Raven men. Thus has he found peace. Last word is barely a hiss filled with contempt. Is that so different from what you see? It is. I seek to forget my past and start again. In that possibility, no matter how remote, there is hope to leave behind this warrior's life that my makers chose for me. For my brother in arms, there is no hope at all. So we could try to deactivate him, but why? He doesn't want that clearly, because I can't suggest it to him. Okay. I think I'm gonna challenge him to a fight, see what the options we have there. Or do I? Not now, because it might get the Bloom's attention to me, make me delicious to it. I'm not sure I want that at the moment. Power source.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
I think one of the mouths there was a new one,
Fine.
so it could be a replacement for this one that died off. We've already pissed off the Bloom a little bit, so I'm not looking forward to forcefully going through the mouths. I mean, we're inside the goddamn thing, so I don't think we have the luxury of getting pissed off on us. Pissed off.
Sure.
If we can't avoid it, that's a different matter, but as long as we have options, we'll choose the other options. We could offer a shared mind space for these passengers. I don't honestly. I don't want to do that. I get that it's probably the sacrificial thing to do, and in that sense, sort of a good thing to do. But I'm not a dumping ground for everyone else's problems. Ignore the ghost and interact with the control panel. You study the control panel carefully. If the Katina were in motion, you suspect it would convey much more information than is currently available. As it is, you're able to see that it has traveled to thousands of destinations along a route that follows specific dimensional pathways, on a circuit that, if you're reading this right, reach through the stars. The panel brings up a wealth of information about the Catena systems in the form of tiny animated images. One of the icons appears to initiate a sequence to eject the Catena's power core. Eject the core. You press the icon. Immediately, a host of other icons spring to life. From what you can tell, multiple steps must occur before the power core can be removed. You'll have to draw the power source from the assembly, direct it into a containment unit, and then cause the containment anchors to release. Then you can extract the unit from the machine. It seems like this should be fairly straightforward, if laborious. Vargelian Ghost interposes itself. We are concerned. We ask you to reconsider. You ignore him and press another icon. Lightning begins to dance across the panel. If you're not careful, you might get hurt. Continue the process of ejecting the core, working around the arc's electricity. It appears that the arcs fire in a complicated pattern, but a few moments of regarding that pattern settles it in your mind. Your fingers dart in and out until at last you manage to complete the process. Power core has been ejected from the assembly. Now you need to move it into the containment unit. You start the transfer sequence, but suddenly the control panel goes dark. The ghosts thicken around you. You will doom us to oblivion. Under their voices, a stronger undercurrent thrums, a subsonic pulse quivers in your gut. Divert power back to the control panel. You tap the broken power image, the old icons disappear, and a new screen of options appears. You study it carefully. One of the images shows an alien claw swiping through a complicated series of gestures at the panel, and then pushing an icon that looks like a wave. You imitate its motions, and the panel winks back to full functionality. Now the power has been restored, you are able to complete the transfer of the core. It appears, at least according to the instructions, that the only task remaining is to remove the containment unit. Unfortunately, the unit appears to be stuck. The column of light has locked the containment device into place. It seems the Catena is working to stop you. The ghosts of the passengers crowd around you, and though they cannot touch you, they can distract you. Light shines into your eyes, voices fill your ears, and all of them whisper and urge you to stop what you intend. Disable the containment field. Yeah, piece of cake. Leaning close, you study the icons and symbols, trying to ascertain their meanings. It looks like you need to enter information in the proper order. You settle in for applied experimentation. Slowly, methodically, you uncover the correct sequence. You enter it, and the containment field winks out. Please stop, the ghosts whisper as one. Please! You open the containment unit, revealing a single functional power source. The others are silent and dead. You examine the active power supply more closely, and a sudden shift in perspective leaves you nauseous.
I'll remember that.
It is as if you look down upon a billion stars swirling around holes of pure emptiness, a darkness deeper than anything you have seen before. You see red lines shift toward infrared and then blackness. And then the holes burst open in a fountain of brilliant white. The foundation scatters stars that circle around new holes, fade to black, and the circle repeats. Cycle repeats. The Catena seems to run on collapsing singularities. Lights in the Catena flicker and dim, fading slowly as the residual power within them expires. Further lights go first, darkness marching along the Catena toward the power source. As the slow wave of darkness builds, it snatches the ghosts into oblivion as well. Excellent.
You bet.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
I suppose we could have delayed this because we don't
Yes.
really have a direct use for the blade at the moment. So maybe we could have had other options available.
Yes. Now.
Do I care? Not really. The thing is, there's no way in hell I'm gonna
That's
get
something I
the...
could do.
I'm going to have to make some kind of a choice anyway, so I'm less concerned if it is the perfect or the right choice. If I find out later that I could have had other options, that's fine.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
Yeah, show him the power source you found in the cantina. Would this work for the scalpel I showed you earlier? He gives it a cursory look. Connect it and see. It is a simple matter. If you are successful, I will see what can be done about the blade itself. Lore Machine and Mystical. Attempt to insert a transdimensional power source into the handle. Yeah.
Making a note.
You take out the cylinder that you found in the crashed cantina and try to slide it into the compartment on the hilt. Initially, it looks as though it won't quite fit, but you discover that if you press the cylinder gently against the opening, it gradually resizes itself and fits neatly inside. A small fine blade of pure transdimensional energy sprouts from the hilt. You realize that this device is a scalpel. With a twist of the hand, the blade can quickly be switched on and off. Light. Transdimensional damage, quite a lot of extra damage per effort. Speed. On a critical hit, wielder gains phase, converts all damage to transdimensional and grants plus 30% evasion. Plus 3 resistance, except transdimensional damage dealt to the creatures. Improve it. You promise to modify the scalpel. He holds out his hand without looking you in the eye. He keeps his eyes focused elsewhere until you place the scalpel in his palm. He sets it in his bench and his fingers fly between his tools and the blade. The process takes only a few moments, and when he has finished, he extends his arm to the side and waits for you to take it from his palm. When you do, he returns to his notes. His sullen air is almost infectious. Yeah, more transdimensional damage, more bonus damage. On hit confers cut through dimensions on target, -5 resistance. On critical hits, wielder gains phase, and it's active for 2 rounds. Yeah, it's vastly superior. I suppose the initial weapon was okay, but this is generally good. 5 points for level up with Rin. Right. More importantly, we wrapped up something. Yeah, still doesn't help the Tybir and his problem.
Now.
So basically there's 2 maws in there, in the mutant sector. We need to feed something to them. I don't know which one it is that they want us to deal with, so we'll have to do both. I'll try the smaller maw first. Definitely not having any of my companions be fed to it.
Action! Here I come!
Think you can help me open in the zone's maw? Wanderer turns ponderously to stare at the man, who stands some distance away for several long moments. Of course, he says, nodding so forcefully that his body sways. Anything for you, Adan. Anything. I will join you when you speak to him next.
All right.
Cut open maw with transdimensional scalpel. No. That's the last ditch. That last ditch thing. My friend Wanderer here will help me feed you. Wanderer shuffles over, flushed with delight at the prospect of being helpful to you. Intrazone asks questions of the big man, but you can't catch them. You can barely think. Pleasant warmth overwhelms your mind, shutting out everything else. Through the thunderous pulses of pleasure, you see tentacles spilling from within Intrazone's clothing, maw opening. Rin peers through the portal and the worlds beyond it. She slumps. Following her gaze, you find Intrazone staring at her in return, a curious expression on his face. A pale, transparent figure steps out from whatever world lies on the other side. He turns this way and that, perhaps attempting to get his bearings. Seeing Intrazone and his maw directly behind him, he scampers off to the side to create some personal space. On finally noticing you, he gives a cheery wave. Intrazone conceals the maw once more and gives you a tremulous smile. As one door shuffles away, he eyes you with suspicion, his smile a distant memory. Perfection. Absolute perfection. So, shit happened. Xerezinian. This pale ghostly figure wears outlandish clothes and a horned helm. Opaque, tangled scars from an unfamiliar weapon loop and curl over his transparent body. Oh, he says, tilting his head. You? Have you found my brother yet? Was I supposed to be looking for him? Really? You told me you'd... He trails off and slaps his forehead. The impact makes his helm tilt forward and he puts up his hand to hold it in place. Of course, right. This is the first time we meet, isn't it? He straightens, holding out his hand formally. Hello, I'm... and I've been traveling through time and looking for my brother for millions of years. Nice to meet you. Shake his hand. Your hand slips right through his and he punches the air in delight. You almost never fall for that. That will keep me going for at least another 100 times of you not trying to shake my hand. He catches your eye and shrugs. The motion makes his helmet slip forward again. Hey, I've been doing this a long time. You find entertainment where you can. At any rate, let me know if you see my brother, huh? You came out of that maw. Are you connected to the blue? To the what? Oh, no, I'm not. It just sort of, well, let's call it swim between places. Following currents, you know. Someone pulled a plug, and here I am. So how many times have we spoken? Good question, he says, consulting an invisible mental list just above your head. Thousands, I'd say. Always a pleasure, mind you, though I don't know why we keep running into each other. I don't see anyone else more than once. If I had to guess, it's your relationship with the tides, but I don't mind. It's nice seeing a familiar face. So, what are those scars from? Scars? Oh, those look painful. No idea. I have to say I'm glad I don't remember, though. Are you a ghost?
I like to think so, but I don't really remember dying, just traveling and searching. And you think this helmet would have keep moving around if I was, spectral? He flashes a grin. On the other hand, I seem to remember promising my brother I'd haunt him when I died, though that's some evidence on the other side.
Uh, what do you know about the tides?
Oh, of course I do, he says, then raises a wary finger. Sorry, forgot first time, I know. They pull me from place to place like normal tides do. This is why I keep seeing different times and places and never stop in any one place for long. Tides don't rest, and neither do I.
He yawns again, even wider.
It's a little tiring sometimes, or at least I think I'm tired, which is probably the same thing. Hey, he says, focusing on you. Can you actually sense the tides flowing through me?
No, I can't.
Well, let's fix that.
He says, cracking his ghostly knuckles. Before you can react, he thrusts all 5 fingers through your chest. The feeling isn't unpleasant. In fact, you feel the tides surging through his arm, through you, and you see them curving back over your shoulders and back through him, binding you together.
There. It should be easier for you to sense the tides now. Just remember that she is out there. Going around with the tides doesn't seem to make her mad. Abusing them, I don't recommend it.
Skill level in Tidal Affinity has been increased by 1. Current level, Specialized. What does your brother look like?
Well, sort of like me minus the helmet. And he's from a world long ago, so he might be wearing... Alright, I do this every time we meet. It's just that I usually go centuries between running into you, and I always forget that you can't possibly have seen him.
He winks, but there's a touch of sorrow in it.
Still, let me know if you see him,
Where is he?
A world long before this one. Billions of years, probably. Maybe more than that, but I'll see him again, eventually.
Okay. What's the helmet about, anyway?
So glad you asked, he says, and he looks at it. I love this story.
He centers the helm on his head.
I ended up on this battlefield once. It hadn't gone well for the side wearing these helmets. I walked up this blackened hill, following the shouting, and I saw, it was probably a city once, but it was on fire, covered in black flames.
He shakes his head. The helmet doesn't move with him.
There were just 2 fighters left, a big man wearing this helmet and her. She was huge and made of screaming shadows and the same black fire. And when the warrior charged at her, roaring, she just touched him. She touched him and he fell over, twitching and burning.
He looks up at you.
One of these times, you told me she was called the Sorrow. Since this is the first time we've met, I'm guessing you have some questions for me.
The sorrow destroyed a city.
A big one, around the size of 3 Saguses and a bloom, but the people of the city were abusing the tides in some way. From what you told me about the Sorrow, that sort of thing makes her really unhappy.
He straightens the helmet again.
But I didn't think they deserved to vanish despite whatever they'd done, so I took the helmet off of the warrior when he'd, stopped melting a bit. Now I carry it with me to remind me of them.
Huh. What did you do to me?
I made it easier for you to sense and control the tides in other people. Don't worry about paying me, my pockets don't work.
Right. Okay, farewell. Shrug? So this wasn't what we... I'm going to ask the empath to try to figure out what's going on.
That's something I could do.
She's probably going to end up paying a price for it, but better her than me. Except I can't do it anymore. That's bullshit.
If you're sure it's safe.
That is bullshit. I mean, what the fuck is preventing me from saying those words? I want you to do me a favor. Cold fairly radiates from the stone-skinned mutant, matching his icy expression.
What do you want, Adan?
Are you angry with me?
No. But I want you to go away. Looking at you makes me unhappy. Looking at you makes me question why you helped me. It makes me wonder if I am better as I am now.
He scrapes his teeth together, shedding sparks.
I do not think I am.
So why are you unhappy? Right.
Yes.
Shrug.
All right, Rin, you can do this.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about that?
Yeah, that's something I could do.
That's a load of horseshit.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
Observe. This isn't gonna help. Listen. We can offer
Let's go.
ourselves, but it doesn't seem to be interested in me anyway. I wouldn't offer myself anyway. Why can't I offer you,
Alright.
you
Here I go.
little piece of shit? Yeah.
At last.
She's not the same woman basically anymore. She has shadows again on her. Her skin and the colors are no longer showing. I think maybe when the area reloaded, she got loaded with some kind of a different version.
Absolutely.
Like maybe if you kill the other guy only or something.
I'm
I don't
going.
know. It seems ridiculous that I can't ask her about it anymore.
Why not?
Yeah, the game has some problems.
Look out below.
It's worrisome because it's supposed to be dialogue based, quite heavily, very heavily, I'd say. If you're not interested in reading dialogues, I would not recommend this game in any way, or heavy role playing.
You bet.
So these type of problems are bigger problems than they would be in a more typical action-oriented role playing game. Why do you want to open the new mob?
We are exiles here, far from our home of Niklish. It is hardened. We hope that the mall will open again in our fair city. But if it doesn't, that seems likely, we stand to profit from the potential new trade route. Either way, we benefit.
Fine.
I basically worked to have the solution, and now I can't use it.
Fair enough.
It just this disappointment. That's what it is. Because it's nonsensical. It is clearly a game problem, programmer fuck up or a problem. Not something that would be even a remote issue in the real world. It breaks the immersion when these sort of
Obvious common sense things are ignored or ruled out for whatever reason. You could try to steal his ugly little music box. Why? I'll never part with it, yeah. Too much pleasure. Keep your
I'm
thingy,
ready.
thingamajig.
I'm always ready.
You recognize Rin, don't you? I believe I do. You came through me, didn't you, my dear?
Yes.
Rin's eyebrows jump high in recognition.
I mean, you were there when I came through, but what do you mean I can through you?
You emerged from another world while I was feeding on the dying love between a married couple. He beams at her. I don't know why you ran off, he says with a frown. I would have been happy to help you find your way home after I'd finished eating. She pales, looking with a little horror at his clothes and the maw underneath.
I was scared of everything. I offer apologies for my rudeness. I was not well.
Rin grabs your arms. She's obviously trying to control her emotions, but she bounces on the balls of her feet, and the corner of her mouth curls and uncurls in an irrepressible grin.
This is it. My way home.
What do I need to do to send Rin home? My maw does not open whenever I will it, he says, patting his chest fondly. It requires sustenance. The bands of love and hate that bind us. Bring me someone who feels strongly for you, and we will secure a path home for the little one. We could cut him open. Someone who feels strongly for you. Love or hate? Maybe I can use him again. Wonder is hating me now. No.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
Should I make someone hate me?
Go.
But I have no idea can I use that, so... Delny, why the fuck are you Shadow again? I'll try something. I'll basically load a quick save. I don't think it'll make any kind of a difference, but I'll see it anyway. Right. Definitely doesn't make any kind of a difference.
Yes. Now.
Ah, crap.
At last.
Crap. This is one of those problems. I basically could get someone to hate me and have him feed on that connection, but there's no way to tell. Could I use that in any way, really? So I could basically fuck up everything in an effort to try something that's totally impossible to even do. Crimpers, we could steal something from her. One door, it already sort of hates me, so I don't understand why I couldn't even at least suggest that. Oh, can I do something? Does this still work? I think Allergen, for example, hates me. This is definitely just a test, but I need an extra open a slot in the group to be able to do this.
Opening the bloom's maws doesn't sound too difficult. Wager I could do it.
Huh. Which one of your scams works on gargantuan world-spanning predators? No. Thinking of adding Ascension City to your list of conquests, are you? Another one? Tybir studies the dripping ceiling with a speculative eye. Why not? Yeah. Okay, does this work? It might not work in the bloom, but how the fuck do you know unless you try? Allergen. Does it work?
Ready to test this out.
I don't think it works. I'm pretty sure it has to be a companion that's actually stuck with you for a while. So that's why it's a meaningful sacrifice. Sure. Yes. He hates me. Good. He says, okay, tell me how you made. Legend speaks, but you can't focus on his words. You feel the heat of his regard for you diminishing, but find it momentarily hard to care. Maw feels open. You squint as a sudden bright light filters into the darkness of the gloom. You breathe involuntarily as a sharp pungent smell strikes your nostrils. Your eyes adjust. You see green grass, bushes and trees. So many trees. It seems like Aeon Tazan isn't even there anymore, just this window into another world. Rin stares, tears falling freely down her face. She looks at you and her face falls. I don't know what to... Now that I'm here. Go and don't think about it, dumbass. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. She lunges forward, throwing her arms around you. She squeezes you tightly, crying into your chest for several moments. Finally she pulls away and puts something into your hand. I made a god for you, a god of friends and finding. I don't know how strong he is, but maybe he'll help us see each other again someday. It's a sword. Come on now, I want to show you, well, everything. He steps forward, oblivious or unheeding to the fact that she's walking into a person. He doesn't care, she's finally home. The Maw closes up behind her, and Tazan closes his clothing again to conceal it. He sniffs and wipes his cheek. He says nothing, but stops you with a gesture and shakes his head. Finally he regains his composure and says, "That was..." He shakes his head again, seemingly unable to say more. Yeah, now we're in a... crap.
deadly little thing, isn't it?
Says nothing. Yeah, I think we it's best we part our ways. Right. Okay. That was a thing. What is this? Rin gave you this very small knife just before she returned to her world. She called it a guard of friends and fighting. She admitted it might not be very strong, but she hoped it would help you and her to find each other again someday. The blade is dull and it is too small to be of use as a weapon. Okay. Oh, she took all the equipment with her, all the healing supplies. Fuck. Yeah. Yep. Well. Yep. I want to. I suppose I should take the fourth character. Crap. But the item seems to indicate that we might be able to stumble on Rin again. So I'm not sure. Maybe I feel like I want to maybe move forward with the three of us for now. It doesn't feel right to just add a character that could have been in the group for a long time just to fill a empty space temporarily. I'll add another character if we run into serious problems. Still, Tybir's thing hasn't progressed at all. Neither has Eretiz's. Where the fuck do I get the necessary thing, whatever has to be done here? Who do I need to talk to? What the fuck do I need to do? Especially now that she sort of fucked me over. Or rather the game fucked me over, that's how it at least feels. I wonder if I can do anything about Delny. I don't see how I could possibly do anything about it. Yeah, this game needs bug fixing, I think. That's how it feels. Not all that often, but definitely a few rough edges here and there still. I suppose it's another warning for us. We should treat every possibility that comes our way as something that we basically might not be able to ever take again. So treat it like that. What do we have here? We have a mole that we can't do anything about unless we start hacking it to pieces. And then we have a thingamajig with this guy. No. This guy that we can try to steal. I don't know why I would want to steal it. It's an abnormal thing though. That's what's bothering me with it. Usually when there's some kind of a nonsensical oddity, it's just a nonsensical oddity. I suppose it's like in the necropolis there was the man with a box, and I didn't go and take a look really what he had in the box. He could have had anything almost. And I'm not even sure if it would have been a real problem for us to take a look. I'm not sure if I want to steal anything from him, no matter what the blasted some music box ends up being. It's a living creature of some sort, that's what I got.
Sideways.
What exactly... The reason why I sort of am disappointed with this is that I think I basically have to force my way through now. I'm sure there's a solution. Actually, I'll do... Ooh, I'm thinking of cheating. If I did... Because Delny promised to... She didn't promise to open it, she promised to find out what it is. So do I cheat and look what the mole wants?
Yes.
I don't think so. I'd rather deal with the bullshit than take a look. Because there's no telling what the looking entails. I wonder if these malls open if you rest enough. Someone else just gets the credit for them or something like that. I'm not offering myself to them. We still have multiple other slums to visit, I think at least 2 others, so I'm not interested in really forcing my way through just yet.
Absolutely.
Let's kill the other slums. We have other problems, but can't do anything about Tybir.
Why not?
On it.
Maybe the solutions will present themselves. We also have the Bloom Juice option. Maybe we can get a solution to one of these through that.
All right.
So it's not like we're totally out of options quite yet. But an obvious solution or a key to a problem just got lost. Still pisses me off a little bit. Old slave block, or yeah, I think we're gonna go with the Eretis situation then. A surgeon. Try to find a solution. What the fuck is wrong with Eretis?
Why not?
Anyone have anything to say about what's
What's
been
on your
happening?
mind?
Nope.
War makes villains of us all. But what Herja did...
Tybir spreads his hands as if trying to hold something foul at bay. And war didn't make a villain of you.
Of course, but not like that. My crimes were, call it negligence or self-preservation.
This case is heavy and focused past you.
But her hate and the atrocity she allowed it to excuse. No, I have much to be ashamed of, but nothing like that.
Anything else?
Can't stop thinking about your meal of vest. You know, you build up an impression of what a city of immortals might look like. Libraries and such. Maybe some tea shops. That wasn't a city. That was a prison, built by your changing god. And your siblings live there by choice, bickering over who owns the cutlery while their executioner waits at the door. Why do all of you let him get away with it?
This isn't about me or the changing god, is it?
Well, what else would it be about?
He declares, throwing his hands up in the air. They falter there and fall back to his sides.
Oh, you're right. It isn't. You bring out the honesty in me. I hate it.
He massages his eyes.
And yes, I'm being honest. I don't see much of a difference between your changing god and me. Give or take immortality, mind you. I never set out to hurt anyone,
He says, planting his hands on his hips as though he is holding himself in place.
but I did. Didn't always mean to, but there it is.
His hands tighten on his hips, shackles of flesh and tendon.
I regret every time I let a friend to take the bite for me. I do, and I swear I'll never run again, but then I do it again.
He closes his eyes. Do what again?
Oh, if only I could tally my mistakes as easily as that, but I've made a lot of them, and I wouldn't know where to start. Put it like this: I'm alive and happy I am. But Rhys was far from the first friend I left behind.
His teeth graze his lips, and he hastily adds,
Accident or no.
And will you leave me when it suits you? Is that what you're saying?
I hope not, lad,
He says with a weary shake of his head.
but I can't promise you that I'd keep my promise.
He straightens with a visible effort, favoring you with a smile.
I'll say this though, and with all the honesty in my heart, you make me want to try, and that's the truth. Now, what did you want to talk about?
Gods, I hate this place. A man likes to see a nice blue sky over his head, possibly with several naked lads and lasses in the way, asking if I had a nice nap and would like a drink. Not intestines and the like. Hope you're not planning a long stay.
What's the matter? You don't like the smell?
Or the view, or the food, or the people?
He chews his lips, thinking.
Can't recommend any part of this place, and for someone of my generous nature, that's saying something.
Right. Maybe I should have gone to the mutant section and then asked where do you think Albine is now. Maybe he could have gotten a more accurate reading. He's still in Little Nihlish. Where the fuck is he?
My way.
All right.
I've talked with everyone there. It has the mall and it has the goddamn music box, that's it. Everything else is explored. More accurate reading, please.
Making a note.
Somewhere in this place.
He says, staring around Little Neelish. With a hint of desperation, visibly steeling himself, he touches the ring with his opposing hand.
Old Bane. Digging in stinking trash. Hunger.
Jerks his hand away as though burned.
Something's wrong. He feels different.
It's not him.
Yes. Now.
Yeah, it's probably Crimper. Have you seen a ring like my friend is wearing? Blinking, mouth working silently, Tybir prepares his hand, clearly at a loss.
Yeah.
Crimper says, glancing at Tybir's ring. He rummages with his filthy rags.
I have one just like it.
He holds it up, pinched between two claws. It's absolutely identical.
A tall man dropped it in a pile of butcher's leavings a few weeks back.
He chuckles, eclipsing Tybir's pained sigh.
Brushed his hand up like he'd handled something awful.
Filthy man mimes the emotion, rubbing his hands fretfully on his greasy clothing, then cackles.
That's it,
Tybir says heavily.
He got tired of looking for me and dumped the ring with our friend here.
He offers you an unconvincing grin.
It's better this way. I'm glad he's clear of this place. Glad he's gone.
I'll remember that.
Gone? He's not gone. I saw him this morning, waving his turn at the shrine of the great Chila.
The old man looks between the two of you pointedly, clutching his treasures close to his narrow chest.
Maybe he's still there.
Let's go find him, Tybir.
All right,
Tybir says, massaging his hand.
whenever you're ready, lad. I won't have any peace until I see him again. I know that now.
Drops his hand to his side.
Doesn't matter if he spits in my face and storms off. At least I know I tried.
He glances over at Owen's lost ring, and the old man tucks it protectively back into his rags with a suspicious scowl. Tybir's mouth quirks, but he leaves the scavenger to his treasure.
All right.
Right. Simple solutions for simple problems. I'll leave things at the front of the shrine. At least we can put that thing to end. Which will give us nothing of use. We'll move on to try to figure out what the fuck is wrong with Eritis too. Seems like we're sort of in the process of fixing everyone's problems, so let's see if we can just put it all together once and for all with everyone. Then we know where the group stands.